Until midnight, this is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley.
Oh, before I even have this conversation, I'm scratching a bit like a dog with fleas, really. I suppose we could be talking about fleas, although the human variety. But you got to like this one. A chemical-free head lice treatment is up for a design award. And Edward Khoury is the founder and inventor of Form Designs Australia. And g'day, Edward.
Hi there, Chris. How are you?
Oh, not bad, mate. Would you like to continue talking while I have a scratch?
Yeah, I will.
This subject is making me itch.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that happens whenever you talk to people about lice, the first thing they do is they grab their head and they start scratching because it is just like an instinct. I think, you know, when you think of what lice do and you know, how they bite and they actually take blood every 4 or 5 hours, and that's what causes the itch. So, yeah, I mean...
Touch wood, and I'm touching lots of it as we speak. Yeah. I have, and I hope this is a trend that continues, never had head lice.
Well, that is fantastic.
Like I say, I hope it's a trend that continues because, of course, the big myth that many people believe is, oh, you know, you have to be dirty or unhygienic to get head lice. Not true, especially when you talk about schoolyards. That's
correct. You can transfer lice with a hat or even being close, you know, somebody putting their head against your head and playing together. So, yeah, lice can travel. They don't jump, but they can crawl from one person to another very easily.
Now, I seem to recall that some of the lice treatments, which in many cases involve chemicals, can be effective, but to say they're rather unpleasant would be an understatement.
Yeah, they're unpleasant in the fact that obviously they're not good for your scalp, and you know, any chemicals that your body takes in is actually not good for you. So we, as a company, tried to develop products for our client that is chemical-free and that is effective. I mean, it's very difficult to have an effective system to remove lice without using chemicals, but I think we've done it.
Now you've come up with a thing called the V-comb, which is described as a chemical-free head lice treatment that eliminates head lice and eggs with the ease of combing and suction. And I thought, suction? Are we talking some sort of vacuum cleaner here?
Yeah, exactly. It was quite interesting because we started off thinking we need to develop some kind of vacuum cleaner system to remove the lice. But we were very lucky to stumble across, and it was really just while we were doing work and developing it, that we could actually reverse a hairdryer. So instead of a hairdryer blowing, our lice comb actually sucks air and blows it out the back. And that's actually how we remove the lice.
What happens to the lice? Do you suck them in and chop them up or something?
No, they go into a filter. So we've got this this very fine filter that clips on the inside, and it's got a cap on it as well. So what happens is the lice are sucked in through the head, and it removes the eggs, the lice, and everything that shouldn't be on your head, and it sucks it in, and it goes into the filter. And that's what houses it and keeps it there. And that's very, very important because other lice combs that you get, people usually, they just take it and they comb it out of your hair. And if it is effective, you'll end up with lice falling on the floor, being transferred from one child to another. So you're not really getting rid of it. So what you're doing here is you're actually capturing the lice and you are housing it in a filter. When you've done the treatment, you cap it and you throw it in the rubbish bin.
Hey, I can see a bonus with this.
Yeah.
Unintended consequences. This would probably be pretty good at sucking dandruff off your scalp too, wouldn't it?
Well, you'd be surprised what it actually does suck up. I mean, the test that we do when we're testing the product is because you can't always get lice, is we put a whole lot of coffee grinds in the hair and we suck it and we try and get as much of the coffee grinds back out of the hair to see how it works.
The other thing I've heard about lice transfer, and I was just doing a little bit of research knowing that I was going to have a chat to you. We, of course, often used to hear about them, and certainly people of my vintage remember it used to have the lice nurse would come around and they'd have their plastic gloves on and they'd check through your hair. As I recall, they'd have the plastic gloves on, a white coat, and they would go through your hair using a pop stick, like a pop stick. to make sure that you didn't have lice. And that was something that would usually happen, I think from memory, about once or twice a year. They would come along and do this inspection, and it was always about the fact you're at school, and of course kids in their natural day-to-day contact were most susceptible to it. But I'm reading that new technology has also brought new ways of having lice infestation, and the one that's been brought to us is the phone selfie. And I thought, yeah, I can see how that might happen.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but that's quite interesting. So in other words, one person passing the phone on to another has lice on it and it goes into somebody's there. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. In fact, I'll give you the bit on the article.
Yeah.
It says, it's news that's likely to have a prolific selfie shooters exclaiming, ew, we've got to get into that young sort of trendy thing. Anyway,
yeah, exactly.
It says before dashing off to the bathroom to give their hair a vigorous wash, and could even mark the beginning of the end for the increasingly popular selfie shot. Selfies, it seems, are helping to spread head lice, especially among the younger population. At least that's the opinion of California lice expert Marcy McQuillan, who says she's seen a huge increase in cases of lice among teenagers this year. And what happens when people take group selfies, they'll put their heads together. Well, what happens is, as you can appreciate, your hair comes into contact with someone else's hair, and if they happen to have some passengers on board, you might get them too.
Oh, so that's actually how it's transferred. That makes sense. Yeah, putting your head together, that's exactly what we said.
So the first thing you have to do...
contact, they can move across, yeah.
First thing you have to do for your promotional campaign is say to people, take more selfies. It's good for business.
Yeah, no, from our point of view, we want to try and eradicate it and make kids more comfortable. And, we were flabbergasted by how effective this device is. That's why we said, it needs a design. We need to put it in for a design award, because we've been developing these kinds of treatments over the years. Over the last 10 years, and we've developed 3 different models. But this one is just unbelievable the way it performs. It's got visible results. When you look in there and you see how many lice. I mean, if you go onto the website and have a look at the effect of this product, it's just unbelievable.
Did you set out to clear lice, or was this what one might call an accidental invention, where you set out to achieve something else and this was the result?
No, we went, because we've been developing 4 two-life technologies over the years. We just wanted to have something better. We're always trying to get something better and more effective, and that's what we did over here. We set out to develop a more effective system that would really trap them and not allow them to be, distributed and put all over the home so everybody can catch it.
When you talk about the sucking process, I'm trying to visualise that. I kind of imagine that it's a really, what's the word I'm looking for? Perhaps it's a vigorous process. I guess I'm asking you, and it's the wuss coming out in me. Does it hurt? Is it like somebody pulling your hair?
No, well, the teeth on the actual device are rounded, but they've got little grooves in them. They're very cleverly designed. So what happens is it actually can rip the eggs off the hair, because the eggs are actually laid on the hair itself. And so what this does is it actually pulls the eggs off the hair, and then when it reaches the edge of the suction, it sucks it in. And then obviously the lice and everything else goes into it as well.
Yeah.
So, and it's not a very, you'd imagine, it's going to be sucking really hard. It isn't. It's very gentle.
Yeah, that's what I imagined. I imagine it, from what you described and the way it was doing the job, I thought, oh my goodness me, this thing is going to suck like you wouldn't believe,
No, it doesn't. The other thing is that children are, when you're working on children's heads and you're right by their ears, you don't want very noisy devices. And one of the things that was in the brief from our client was that it needed to be as quiet as possible, because you don't want to scare 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds.
Otherwise they won't sit still,
Exactly, true. And they get scared. And, that was something that really worked out well with this, because it doesn't need to have a strong motor and a noisy device. It's quiet, and it does the job very, very well.
So the motor's quieter than, say, the average blow dryer?
Oh, absolutely. 10 times quieter. Very quiet, yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting. I notice here too, my friend, you've had about 300 inventions. What are a couple of other things that you've done?
Oh, we've done many. We developed the Eco Shark barrier and now the bionic barrier that is used for shark mitigation.
Yep.
We've done many different kinds of appliances. We've done different kinds of cookware. We've done air conditioning systems. We've done, there's many. If you visit our website at formdesign.com.au, you'll actually see all the products that we've developed.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for talking to us.
A real pleasure, Chris.
Edward Khoury, who's founder and inventor from Form Designs Australia. I should also point out that they are indeed a West Australian company in Bibra Lake